watching the Flory Models daily vlog. Here we are on Monday the 20th of June 2016, and busy weekend. To be honest, I was working most of the weekend pushing on with this. Obviously we've now finished the group build. Fantastic entries by everybody down in there and a good push on the end as well. Okay, now I'm going to do full details of it and everything during the week. I'm obviously going to be sending off for your names, addresses and the various bits and pieces so we get your medals done. So I'm going to order the medals tomorrow. We'll get those sorted out, so they should be with us by next week, and then hopefully I might be able to get them out even to, towards the end of next week before we go away. So that'll be the goal for that one. But this week, to be honest, it's going to be a bit more of a quiet week. I can catch up with. I've got to do a lot of editing, sort a lot of stuff out. I've got to clear in here properly and everything else like that. So really, today started like this. Hello, welcome to Flory Models daily vlog. Here we're on Monday. Okay, so funny week this week. I'm going to be a little bit all over the place. Need to catch up desperately with a lot of bits and pieces as we make our way through. So over the weekend, as you can probably see here, we've done the photo-etch flaps, which are hopefully in one bit in here. Which are these little guys. Where's the other ones? They're nice. Very nice. Nice review on this one, or build on this one, because it's around about 35 minutes and it's unedited. It's literally, obviously edited with camera angles, but it's literally start to finish, non-stop, working with the flaps. Now, to be honest, I did one of them one way, and then we came in and did the other one a different way. Second time one is the one I showed you. It's far much easier than the first one. But we talk about how EDARD instructions are a little bit, let's say, hit and miss. I'm working out the best way to work photo etch, and that's the thing with photo etch. Sometimes you look at it, look at the instructions, and it's a bit like a normal model kit, because you think there's got to be an easy way than that. That's a really complicated way. And working out when you're folding it what's going to work best, because like I explained in there, it's like the old soda cans. Pulling the ring pull, you're great for the first two pulls. After that, it's just going to snap. Okay, so you want to make sure you know where you're folding, because if you have to go the other way, it's likely to break off. Okay, and then you've got to glue it and all the bits and pieces, which is what happened to me in this one, if I'm honest. But when I did the second one with you guys, it worked a lot easier. But as you can see, we're using the new camera angles now. To be honest, what you can see here is the 4K footage, which is absolutely lovely. I'm probably going to start releasing it, that it'll be available in 4K as well. Probably a little bit of overkill at the moment, because, well, I don't think streaming it is a nightmare. It's a huge video file and all the rest of it. So I don't know, just with this one, you can see particularly when you're doing small little things, because obviously this thing's only this big, in 4K it's absolutely stunning. I haven't got a 4K monitor. In fact, I haven't got a 4K anything, so I'm only guessing that it's in 4K. It's just telling me it's in 4K. But anyway, we'll see about that, but that one is up on there now. Also, I finished the Osprey, which I'll show you in a moment. Talk about a run to the end on that one, because I did it Sunday morning, worked on it through Sunday morning, and then literally I had to go out to dinner, because being Father's Day, went over with the folks, saw them. Come back, I was straight in here for another 2 hours, putting the aerials on, all the bits and pieces, unmasking, those types of things, and then finishing it off, of which it is done. I'm glad to say we managed to make it in time, and as I said, it's my first group build I've actually finished in years. And I really enjoyed it, and that's why I'm taking part in the next SIG, which is obviously the British Armour one, and I've got 2 builds lined up actually for working throughout the the summer, basically into the autumn, where we'll be working on the Gundam kits, which I'm really looking forward to having a go at those. As I say, got something planned for that big time, something I don't think anybody else normally does with Gundam, but you know me. And I've got that nice Japanese F1, which I'm quite looking forward to doing one of those, purely because I've never done one before. It's wraparound camo, we can do various things with aircraft. So over the next course of the couple of months, you're really going to get some good stuff. So we're going to have a jet aircraft, we've got some sci-fi down there, and we've got armour. So talk about covering all our bases over the next couple of months. I am away Thursday, just to brace you all. So Thursday is going to be a complete day off for me, because I don't like to harp on, but I've had a day off in weeks. So we're off to see family in Weymouth, and then in 2 weeks' time, I won't be here. We're away with Snap, so I have mentioned it. So what I've got to do is catch up with loads of stuff on the forum, so I've got to put up the details when I'm away. Obviously closing down the site, the various bits and pieces have got to happen as well, so we need to get all of those sorted. So I'm going to be working a lot, sitting down, doing some editing. I'll edit up the last part of the actual Osprey and everything else like that. One thing I do want to mention, we have had a few, should we say, disagreements on the forum over the last week or two. I don't know where it comes from. It's obviously silly season again. We have lost 2 members over it, which have been banned and removed from the site, because quite frankly I won't tolerate anybody basically bullying tactics or anything, or name calling, especially when it's sexually thing names like grow up, how old are you? So basically those two members have left us, and no, I'm not going down the route of allowing members back in, because we've done this in the before and they come back and bit me. So it's simple as that. So be warned, we don't tolerate any type of abuse on the forum, especially towards members, team members and me. So, you know, that's how it works with that one. So I'm not going to apologise for it, because I think, you know, we're all adults, it's a hobby, and you were talking about stuff that has no place in the hobby whatsoever. So that was the one with that one. But just remember guys, Hans and Steve do work extremely hard trying to keep the forum clean. And I'm not going to disrespect anybody of this forum, because I've got, you know, very good friends in other forums, like obviously with Mike over at Brit Modeler, and, you know, literally loads of forums, I'm not going to name them all. You know, and I know how hard it is to work a forum, and I don't have the level of members that those guys have. We've got, I don't know what we're on, 3,000 members or something in the forum. So, you know, for me it's quite easy. When you've got 15,000, that must be an even bigger nightmare. But what we try and do here that's slightly different to perhaps other forums, just try and keep it a little bit clean. So i.e. your titles. I know Chris got a little bit upset about having his title changed. I don't know why. It was just changing the title at the end of the day, guys. Just so it appears in the listings where we've got down here that it does say 1/35th scale, Revel, what are we, Boeing 747 Ed Force 1, you know, so, you know, that's how it is. The reason that Steve does that is that it makes things easy to categorize, and it makes everything streamlined and look very neat. And I know it sounds a little bit OCD, but then you get people and they say, oh, I've used the search and can't find it. It's because if you've got like weird things in there, it doesn't work. So as simple as something like, you know, 1.35th scale, okay, the search won't find it, but if you've got 1/35th scale, it will. And that's little things that it does, and that's what Steve and Hans go around doing it. Also, the other thing they do, which is a huge thing, which is, again, something I don't think many other forums take as much care as these guys do, is literally putting your posts in the right category, because it tends to just get chucked into the sort of general modelling thing, okay, or sort of general chat forums, when it's about painting or airbrushing or, you know, a kit. So Hans and Steve will actually take that post and move it into the correct forum. Now you have to understand that they spend 3 or 4 hours a day doing that, just trying to keep the forum looking nice, clean, sharp, deleting old posts that are no longer relevant and all the rest of it, so the forum is completely up to date. Okay, so it's nice, sharp, concise. Yes, there is a few things. Yes, Chris, I agree. I always do mine slightly different to Steve, because I always put up a Revel 144 Boeing 747 Ed Force 1, for instance. I do it that way. That's just my mental block. I know Steve edits mine, so fair enough, but that's the way Steve does it and all the rest of it. I have to say that without Hans and Steve, I couldn't run this, because I haven't got time to do the build side, the editing and looking after the main site, because I deal with the main site. Hans and Steve deal with the forum, okay, and literally for the last 2 years I don't do anything really with the forum. Obviously I post in there and put things in, but when it comes to sorting out the group builds and the SIGs, the buy and sell area and general, all those things like that, that is Hans and Steve doing all of that. So, you know, a big bless them really, and I think they are really my unsung heroes. And don't forget, there's only 3 in the team. You know, it's literally me, Hans and Steve now. The other guys have moved on to pastures new, or, you know, having a break from the hobby or whatever. So it literally is just the 3 of us. So if you can make your posts a little bit, you know, just try and go along with the guidelines and everything else, it just makes the forum cleaner, easier and faster to use. And from a search point of view of finding your posts and various things like that, then literally you can just go in there. But I'm not having a rant about it, and I know the guys don't want big pats on the backs for doing it all and all the rest of it, but they are really unsung heroes for everything they do down in there. You know, as you say, for me, I sort of concentrate on the main site, if you like. Everything's on the main site is all my work, okay? The guys have nothing to do with the main site at all. But then I don't have anything to do with the forum really. I just post in there and chuck my bits in there. Obviously we have team chat, so we'll go online and we Skype each other and we'll discuss things like group builds and SIGs and what's going on and if things need tweaking and stuff like that. But generally the categories of all the different things that we've got in here is literally down to Hans and Steve. So a lot of these things for, like, you know, the paint section now, which is getting quite big, and the modelling help centre especially, and all these things, it's literally Hans and Steve going around having a think, what's the best way to lay it out, what's the easiest way for you guys to find it, and all the bits and pieces. So if we can sort of keep a a go on it, and then that way it just makes everything a lot easier for them, and it'll save them a bit of time and everything else. But I know you guys help out on the various bits and pieces, and it is that thing. It's just that sometimes I think, you know, and I don't blame them, because I feel it as well when I'm on the main site doing stuff, is that, you know, they tend to be just hit upon, as in people don't care, so it's just like them, and then when things go wrong, they're the first people to blame, okay? And it's not their fault at all. Okay, so that's what it is, all right? But we all have off days, we all get shitty and all the rest of it. It's just that from the forum guys, that just keep it nice and polite and everything else. So you think, we've been at the forum now for over 10 years, and I think we've had a total of 5 people have been kicked out in over 10 years. Well, it's got to be over 10 years now. So 2002 from the original one. So, you know, we're talking realistically 12 years to 14 years, and I think we've kicked out 5 people have been banned from the forum in that time, which is nothing when you think of the thousands and thousands of people we've gone over. From a total thing, here's a little insight. If everybody who subscribed stayed, we'd have over 12,000 people now on the actual forum and on the site and everything else like that. That's why we delete people. If you're not on the forum when you leave, you get deleted, because we try and keep it current, sharp and up to date and everything else like that. All right. Anyway, that's enough of all of that. We'll talk about that a little bit later anyway. So as I said, I'm going to edit out the Osprey. But the big thing is, you guys have bought... God, I've just whacked me this thing. That's all right. Stay there. Right. These guys, all right, these are all the kits that I've got to sort out your postage and various bits and pieces. So those are there. I have got another pile of kits upstairs, which if I've got time today, I'll photograph and I'll bring them down and everything else like that. But what I'm going to do is box these all up, then I can give you the exact shipping cost of what it'll be. Because obviously until I've got it boxed and that, I don't really have a clue of how we do it. And no, I don't use some crappy cheap courier either. Sorry guys, I know you pay a little bit extra, but I'm not running the risk of losing stuff. Okay, so it'll either go raw mail or it'll go courier, probably by UPS. This guy over here, I'm still not sure if that light is as bright. It just seems darker down here. Look, I've got a shadow. We don't normally get shadows, but we have a shadow. So that light is definitely failing me now. Where's my on-off button? Let me just spin this little guy around. Where is that? I don't know where the on-off button is now. Here it is. But I must admit, I have to say, you know, I put this up on Facebook and on YouTube. If I move it over here, you can probably see it a bit better. Yesterday, last night, just to prove that I had finished it. And as I say, we whipped through with really simple weathering at the end, but I think you'll agree it's very effective. I do like the way it's came out. The propters, or what do we call them? I don't know now, I can't remember what the official name is. Painting them up and everything else like that. A little bit challenging because I was trying to get a sort of faded dust look to them, so hopefully that's worked. And we did the tinting with the glass, but now as well we haven't bothered putting the glass, the clear parts in this. All the windows are done with the PVA glue trick. So that's quite handy. So from that point of view, all of those have been done, even the little ones at the front and everything else like that. So I have to say, really enjoyed it. But generally, it is that thing. It was one of those kits where at the time, it was supposed to be a little quick build, turned in a little bit more than that, but I'm really happy I've done it. I do love it. It is absolutely fantastic. Anyway, that is about it for now. Sorry about the ramble this morning. I know I'm basically on one. So what I'm going to do is going to get your kits all boxed up, all the bits and pieces like that. I'm going to do a little bit of editing on this, as we said, and come back at lunchtime and we'll see how we're getting on. Okay, so here we are now, just going 2:30. I've really got to get on with the orders. I just had a delivery, just a little one. These are better. These are little bolts, which would be perfect for the blaster. This is more the length I was after. Saw these after I ordered the first ones. And then I think those would be absolutely perfect. I love, to say, buying little bolts, little things like that. Let's face it, they cost literally pence. And if you do a little bit of combined as well, you even get a better deal. Like this is from, I think it's called the Bolt Company or something, on eBay. And they do just tiny little bolts and various things. Great for modelling. This is the sort of, you know, cosplay type stuff that I do. And all those types of things. So, yeah, always handy to have those. Apart from that, I am waiting on quite a few things. As you were watching the Saturday show with me and Steve, this turned up Saturday morning. So I've got the Captain Phasma there, and I've got the A-Wing as well. So you never know, I might do it as a one-day build in a few months or something else like that. I'm getting all your stuff ready, literally. As you can see, just around here, so it takes me forever. But we've got down here, this is the packages all done for your kits that you've bought. That's Toby's, he's having those too. I've got those down there. We've got other ones that are done and ready to go out there, and all the bits and pieces. Apart from that, generally I want to get this lot all completely sorted out, if I can, over the next week. This week should be an easier week for me because I haven't done too much. So now what I've got to do is all your orders, and to be honest, absolutely loads of them. We've got 16 full sander sets going out, which I don't know if you're all panicking, but you have got like 2 weeks before we close the store and all the bits and pieces like that. So I'm going to be up here now for a good couple of hours doing your orders from the members.
Faces prolong the embraces. We were always one toward the breakaway, but we're nearing chances to wake the day.
Okay, so normally I must admit I walk to the post office every day, so just after 2:30. If I can manage all these, which will be quite a task. We try and do the post run. Right, see you later. We do the door. Right, okay, so there you go, something a little bit different. You can come with me to the post office. Okay, there we go. See, look, and who says postage is cheap? £107 in postage. Okay, so back to the house, and then we can get going with the vlog. Well, for the show, and we can do it just like that. So all we've got to do is get out of here.
Chances to wake the day. They're calling you over. The methods are bolder. We're lost in the time now, reminding ourselves how we were always one for the breakaway, but we're nearing chances to wake the
Okay, so there you go. You see a bit of a busy day today, especially getting out your kits for that. I haven't done part 2 of the stash sale yet. I will do it with you probably tomorrow afternoon. I'll put those up. What I'll do is I'll put them up during the evening as well, so there's a bit more chance. I know a lot of people have said, great, never even saw it before they all sold. As I say, don't hold your breath. I know a lot of people have said, oh, will you be selling your AMK, MiG and all stuff like that? No, because obviously I intend to build that at some point, but it tends to be just some of the other kits that we've got down here. I'm trying to clear it, and to be honest, that shelf is definitely a lot lower than it has been, and then upstairs is a lot clearer as well. So as I said, I'm going to go through some of the armour stuff tomorrow, so some of those will definitely be coming, so if you're into your armour, have a look at those tomorrow night, and a few other bits and pieces. And as I say, I've got some of the Bandai stuff has turned up, so we're going to be doing reviews of those in the next couple of weeks and everything else like that. So up with you now is the section all about flaps and photo etch and working with those, the details of it. This again is a complete warts and all, as we said. This is a complete start to finish, very little editing. In fact, these were built in real time as well, so it's 35 minutes to do half, so it's like an hour and a bit to do both. But definitely, as I say during the actual build of this one as well, that doing that second one was so much quicker than the first one, because you learn by your errors and your mistakes, and you're working out the best way for it all to go together and putting down the photo etch and everything else like that. So if you are interested in photo etch, this is only the flap section, but because it is extremely complex, because we've got curves, you've got folding, you've got embossing work, gluing it and all things like that, it covers basically everything that you're ever going to need to know about it to do complex curves like this. So anyway, they are done now, so what we can actually do then is start cutting up the actual model to fit a lot of these in, because we've got to remove a lot of plastic to make way for these aftermarket bits. Later on in the week, I hope to then do the gun deck area for it, and then obviously we've got the spinner and we've got the gear. And then when we do the gear, obviously somebody asked me about, will you be doing the wiring? Yes, of course we will. We're going to put in the actual wiring into it, or the actual hydraulic hoses for the brakes and things like that. And then obviously we're going to do the same with the engine a little bit later on when it's fitted in. We'll be talking about wiring work and everything else using lead wire and things like that, but that'll come when it's a little bit more together, so to speak. So there we go. You can go off and have a look at that one now. This little guy, to be honest, I'm going to edit him tomorrow. That's my job for tomorrow. I've still got to do the final reveal proper photos. I know we had the small little 30-second one that I shot yesterday or last night, just to prove I'd finished it on time. Okay, so we're going to get that one done. So there we go. That's it for today. I'll catch you all tomorrow.